Some of those charges are for you, though.
No, sir.
You didn't go to Las Vegas? What is that?
No comment.
You don't know if you were in Las Vegas?
Ain't nothing changed, nothing new here to see. This ain't nothing but some political maneuvering.
America.
Welcome to the eulogy, eat it up. It's called political buffoonery.
Hey there, everybody, and welcome to This Week in DUMBmocracy, where we showcase some of the dumbest newsmakers of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to the small suburban village of Dalton, Illinois. It's a little over 4.5 square miles. There's nothing really significant about it, about 20,000 people or so. But it's home to the worst mayor in America. And I don't say that lightly. You know I like to back things up with facts. I'm going to bring the receipts to you. But before I do, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any other shows. And if you like what you see and hear in this or any of the other videos on the channel, please smash that thumbs up button. Like, comment, share the show with your friends. All that good stuff because, as you know, it all feeds the YouTube algorithm.
Feed me, Seymour.
So now we got all the show formalities out of the way, let's talk about the mayor of Dolton, Illinois, Tiffany Henyard, the worst mayor in America. Henyard was elected in 2021 with over 80% of the vote. Now keep in mind, two factors play in her favor with this election. The first being, this is a Democrat-dominated area. Much like the People's Republic of New York City, this is an area that's probably 7 out of every 10 people are Democrats. On top of that, the village of Dalton, Illinois is also 90% African American. So you put the two together and it adds up to a big win for Tiffany Henyard. But that win was not without controversy. You see, during the campaign, there were some red flags that voters should have picked up on that would have signaled to them that Tiffany Henyard was not exactly on the up and up. The first red flag was that during her campaign, in fact, the opening of her campaign, she held it at a gas station where she gave away free gas to voters who showed up to that rally. Sounds a lot like buying votes, doesn't it? The second red flag is that there was news of a lawsuit against Henyard by a tenant in a Section 8 building that she owned, claiming that the building was basically inundated with mold. So there were signs that Henyard was possibly a slumlord concerning the management and ownership of this Section 8 property. But voters didn't pick up on any of this because voters don't really dig into things anymore, which is why I wrote my book and I have this channel, really. And it turns out that those red flags were just a sign of many, many bad things to come for the town of Dalton. This is one of 2 WGN9 reports from Chicago detailing what's going on in Dalton and why Tiffany Henyard is the worst mayor in America.
40 minutes south of Chicago, you'll find Dolton, Illinois. The median income is $24,000 a year, and yet the mayor collects more than 10 times that amount from various elected positions.
That's absolutely crazy. By the way, Tiffany Henyard is not just the mayor of the village of Dalton. She's also the supervisor of Thornton Township in the same area. These small localities, they have overlapping municipalities and different governmental layers. And Tiffany Henyard is collecting 2 paychecks that amount to over 10 times the average income of the voters in that area.
It's obscene. Obscene.
But that's just the tip of the iceberg.
And as we found, a paycheck isn't the only perk.
In South Suburban Dalton, the economic challenges run deep.
We still have areas that need trees cut, streets paved, alleys paved, sidewalks fixed. It's a lot of that going on.
And a lot that's being spent, not on critical repairs, but on travel, meals, and more by many top village officials.
It's an issue. It's been an issue for some time.
We just look up and we're paying for stuff. And it just makes no sense. She's just doing what she wants to do.
None of them do the things that we do here. We the only ones making sure y'all streets get paid, find ways to fix what is broken.
She is Mayor Tiffany Henyard.
But then they run in y'all, tell y'all this look fictitious story.
Would you like to just do an interview with me?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, let's go. I mean,
Okay, so automatically you see that there's no professionalism here. She's screaming at a reporter and they're having a dialogue in the middle of open business within the village.
A little bit of a red flag.
What were voters thinking here?
In addition to leading Dalton, she also serves as supervisor of Thornton Township.
You make almost $300,000 between your two elected positions.
I do not. I don't know where you got that number from.
We got it from her own village and township records.
Caught you.
WGN bringing the receipts. All right, so there, another red flag. Lie number one, apparently, here. The thing about government is that there's always public records to get. There are freedom of information laws at every level of government. To get information like this, very easy to do. WGN, I give you credit for this. You caught her in a lie. But again, we're just at the tip here, folks. This is the tip of the iceberg.
These are tax dollars.
So is the money being spent on village credit cards. WGN Investigates obtained copies of statements that reveal village officials have spent more than $24,000 at restaurants in just 1 year, including this Midlothian barbecue joint and a South Holland sub shop.
That's a lot of subs. $24,000 in just meals on a credit card. Now, the village is paying interest on that as well, in addition to covering the charges. That's all on the taxpayer dime. That's what an average taxpayer in Dalton would make in a year, just on food.
I've seen the same thing and more. You name it, they've done it.
Other questionable expenses include the streaming service Hulu, flights to Texas, Alabama, and Missouri, and hotel rooms in nearby suburbs, including Madison and Elk Grove Village, plus thousands of dollars spent at a hotel in downstate Pontiac.
Why does the village need Hulu? I don't get that at all. That's an interesting expense. It's not a huge expense, but still seems like government waste. Why are these trips needed? Why are these hotel rooms needed in local areas that are close by? There's no explanation for any of this. WGN doesn't give it. It leads me to believe that there is not really a lot of oversight by the trustees to find out where this money is going or for the purpose of them.
My take is this: if they are going to something that's going to benefit the village, that's fine. But from my standpoint of view, these things don't benefit the village at all.
And then there are the trips to Las Vegas.
Don't you love how WGN is kind of ginning up the story a little bit with the music? And they're definitely playing it up to the crowd. They're playing up the air of corruption here. Let's see if they can back it up.
Mayor Henyard and other top officials traveled to Sin City in May to attend a shopping center conference. It's unclear if it helped Dalton land any deals.
Don't have a clue. We're all in the dark. Not only are the residents in the dark, but the trustees are also in the dark as well.
I do not handle anything as relates to with credit cards. As you heard me speak today in my board meeting about, I do not handle that.
Some of those charges are for you, though.
No, sir.
You didn't go to Las Vegas?
Uh-oh.
What is that?
No comment.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
So not only is she a corrupt politician, apparently, she's a dumb one. She can't think on her feet to give an answer. She got caught in lie number 2, and now she can't think on her feet to cover up the lie. You know, the best politicians out there know how to do that, right? You can see they can think on their feet. But this is yet another red flag for Tiffany Henyard. She definitely has no talent in dealing with the press. The fact that she called out the press to do an interview and not be prepared to answer questions like this and just do a straight denial and then get caught, that tells me that she doesn't know what the hell she's doing. And she's in charge of a whole town of people, a whole village. And look at the smug look on her face while she's doing it. She knows she's got her hand caught in the cookie jar here, and she doesn't care because who's going to vote her out anyway? It's one-party rule. It's majority African-American. She'll probably get reelected again, she thinks.
You don't know if you were in Las Vegas?
Of course I do.
Were you?
It's not paid by them.
Did you fly first class to Las Vegas?
Any other questions?
Actually, yes. The credit card records do shed some light on tax dollars spent at several restaurants near the Strip, including Cafe Hollywood and Hot and Juicy Crawfish.
All right, any other questions?
So you're not going to answer how taxpayer dollars are being spent? That seems odd.
I just answered it. What do you mean? I just answered your questions.
You said you wouldn't answer about Las Vegas.
You asked me a question and I responded. So any other questions you may have?
This is just evil. This is an arrogant, audacious, irredeemable buffoon. The fact that she thinks she can get away with playing games in this interview and people not see it, that's completely disgusting. I can't believe what I'm seeing here. This is why she's the worst mayor in America. The audacity, the arrogance. And she's going on these spending sprees, traveling first class apparently to Las Vegas on the government dime, on the people's dime. Absolutely irredeemable.
They may have signed up for a conference, but they never bring anything back. So we have no idea why they go to these trips.
Remember, we mentioned Henyard was also supervisor at Thornton Township. WGN Investigates obtained copies of that agency's credit card statements as well. They show township taxpayers also spent money on the Vegas trip on everything from steak dinners to hotels, and $3,741 just on Henyard's round-trip flight.
Unreal. So that's why she can say that the village didn't pay for it, the town paid for it, the township paid for it. The itchy switchy with money here is just absolutely corrupt to the core.
But I shouldn't have to sit up here and break all this down.
When trustees refused to pay a big block of bills this week, the mayor accused them of putting vital city services in jeopardy.
She shouldn't have to break it all down. If you're the one spending this money and you're looking for reimbursement, if you're looking for the town to cover it, you're looking for the village to cover it, you're going to have to break it down. You have to literally bring the receipts and account for this money. This is not your money. This is the people's money that you're spending going first class to Vegas. Unbelievable.
We need receipts to understand what's going on.
We couldn't help but notice the red hat perched in front of Mayor Henyard throughout the meeting. It's from the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company, which, by the way, was apparently a stop on the Vegas trip. $303 billed to Thornton Township taxpayers.
Audacity. The gall of this woman, the unmitigated gall to have a spoil, basically, of your riches that you spent from your trip, sitting there mocking your own trustees as you're fighting over this money. I haven't seen corruption like this at this level ever. Ever. I don't think I've ever seen anything so brazen as this.
We just feel lost, and we just want the powers that be to step in and say, hey, you know, something's got to give.
Is there anybody else? I just want to be clear. Anybody else after that? Is that it? That's it?
We sought specifics from Dalton and Thornton Township about these credit card charges, expenses, and how they benefited taxpayers, but received no clarity. Mayor Henyard invited us to come back to Dalton and the township to showcase upcoming turkey giveaways, senior programs, and plans for an ice rink.
Like what you see so far? Go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Also, leave us a comment and tell us what you're thinking. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another show. Before I go into my analysis, I just want to acknowledge that there are other videos out there that go into much more detail about Tiffany Henyard and what's going on in Dalton. And a special shout out to Actual Justice Warrior. They have an amazing video going further into detail as to why Tiffany Henyard is the worst mayor in America. I'm going to link it in the description and also in the top right corner right now. Check out that video. It really is worth watching. Just look at this smug face of hers. Tiffany Henyard has exhibited so many red flags that we saw in the video, but let's talk about them in the context of my book, Schnooks, Crooks, Lies, and Scoundrels, a field guide to identifying political buffoons, available right now on Amazon, at Barnes & Noble, and other online bookstores. It's an award-winning book, folks, and it's available for 99 cents right now on Amazon. Go pick up an ebook today. Tiffany Henyard is a political leech. We've seen she makes 10 times the salary, more than 10 times the salary of the average voter between her two governmental jobs. She gets all the benefits of those governmental jobs, and she gets perks like using credit cards for first-class travel to Vegas for supposed business for the village or for the township, and nothing ever manifesting. She spends tens of thousands on food, whether it's locally or on these trips, and as well as other travel, other lodgings, and goodness knows what else. So in that level, she is the typical political leech that just takes, and gets into office just because they want to have the title, they want to have the benefits, and they do nothing with it. She's also very much a BS buffoon, the Buffoonicus supercilious that we talk about, in that she is way over her head when dealing with anyone with reasonable intelligence, like we saw in the interview from this WGN reporter when he confronted her with complaints about her salary, when he confronted her about the Vegas trip and all the money she's been spending. She had no good answers other than to die with the lie, to deny everything. It really was pathetic when you think about it, and kind of makes you wonder, what were voters thinking? What got them to pull the lever for her, or to fill in the oval, or whatever it is that they do in Dalton? What made them vote for this buffoon? And she's also a pretty irredeemable buffoon. You see the reaction she has, the smugness, the audacity. Tiffany Henyard truly is the worst mayor I've ever seen. She's definitely the worst mayor in America. And that's saying something considering some of the mayors we have around the country right now. I mean, we have Eric Adams being investigated by the FBI. We see dysfunction in every major city, but none of it compares to Tiffany Henyard, in my opinion. She's the worst of the worst. But like I said, that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. Please drop a comment. Tell me what you think about Tiffany Henyard. And most importantly, like the video, share it with friends. Let's do our best to get this video out so we all bring awareness to this just irredeemable, inexcusable buffoon. Let's peg her out as an example of why voters, our friends and family, need to be better when it comes to choosing candidates. This woman shouldn't have been anywhere near mayor of a town. She shouldn't be dog catcher of a town. Yet, here we are talking about her, and she's going to serve out her term, and who knows, she might get reelected again because we elect buffoons too often. Let's start a conversation with our friends and family. Share the video out. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any other shows, so we can continue talking about all the shenanigans and buffoonery from idiots like Tiffany Henyard that go on every day this week in DUMBmocracy.
All views and opinions expressed here are not necessarily of the mainstream media and may offend some listeners. It's called political buffoonery.